As students and members of the Salisbury community, it is likely that we have interacted with the Chesapeake Bay in some capacity at some point in our lives, whether it's driving over the Bay Bridge, boating on the bay or in one of its tributary rivers, or even just enjoying a locally sourced Maryland blue crab. We have utilized the natural resources of the Chesapeake Bay. Now, the Chesapeake Bay and its watershed is expansive. It covers 6 states and over 64,000 square miles, as reported by the Chesapeake Bay program. Over the summer, I conducted research through Salisbury University to see how human land use impacts Chesapeake Bay and its watersheds by studying 3 rivers along the eastern shore. Now, today I'm going to give a brief introduction to specifically how farming land use impacts rivers and the Chesapeake Bay's watershed, and just kind of see how the aquatic ecosystems are impacted and also the recreational and economic benefits are impacted. So first, it's essential to understand how farming impacts a body of water. Specifically in commercial farming operations and crop production, large amounts of synthetic fertilizers are used to promote crop growth and get a hearty yield from their crop production. And so in doing this, these synthetic fertilizers are heavily concentrated in the nutrients nitrogen and phosphorus, as reported by Savci in a study done in 2012. Now, these nutrients promote plant growth, but not all of this fertilizer gets seeped into the soil or the plant itself, so it becomes available for movement by rainwater. Now, this rainwater washes the excess fertilizers, excess nutrients from the plants into bodies of water, and this heavy input of introduced nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus causes a phenomenon known as eutrophication. And eutrophication is what causes the really thick algae blooms that float on the surface of the water, and this is because it also increases plant growth of aquatic plants such as algae. And so eutrophication can cause many negative aquatic ecosystem effects, which I will discuss now. So algae blooms cause decreased photosynthesis for benthic plants since they act as a block for sunlight to get through the water, and they're soaking up all of this sunlight. So in combination of excess sunlight and excess nutrients, it's a breeding ground for this algae and their population really explodes. With that, there is competition among the algae for space, sunlight, and nutrients, so a lot of this algae will also die off and fall to the bottom of the body of water. Now, when this algae gets decomposed by bacteria, this bacteria uses up the oxygen that's available in the water and can cause what's known as a dead zone, which is where there's just not enough free oxygen in the water and can cause fish die-offs, as reported by the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. Now, they have seen that a lot of species of fish that are beneficial for economic production, so such as perch, catfish, things like that, they are dying off at alarming rates due to this increased algae mat that's causing dead zones in the water. So no oxygen means no fish, which means lower economic benefits, but also lower biodiversity. So the aquatic ecosystem is impacted as well. So now we'll take a look at how farming can impact recreation and also the economy. Now, Dobbs et al. In 2009 produced a study that showed that the algae blooms are unsightly, so it kind of decreases recreational activities such as boating, paddleboarding, kayaking, things like that, because when an area is uglier, we kind of tend to use it less. So it caused a decrease in recreational activities, and it also just lowered the aesthetic value of the bay and its rivers. Now, there have also been some serious economic impacts from farming as well. In 2009, Chesapeake Bay Foundation found that Chesapeake Bay and its watershed provided $107.2 billion annually from resources. And if there was no change in our policies for farming and eutrophication, no mitigation for that, it would decrease by $5.6 billion annually, which is a huge decrease in our economic value. Basel in 2023 also found that the blue crab population was declining at an alarming rate again. In 2021, it was 282 million, and it has decreased to 227 million in 2022. And this has increased crab prices dramatically. Now, in conclusion, mitigation can help the climate control, economic benefits, crop production, food production, and also just increase the aesthetic value of the Chesapeake Bay. Thank you for listening.